What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Toronto Raptors, and we're going to be talking about how this team continues to prove everybody wrong, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, the Toronto Raptors have been playing some really great basketball recently. They've won 8 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're currently on a 2-game winning streak, and this is really great for the Toronto Raptors because I feel like they've had a climax or a turning point this season, because there was a time this season where the Toronto Raptors had a record of 22-22, and it was looking like they were going to have to go through the play-in tournament to get to the playoffs. But the Toronto Raptors, they really upped their level of play, and they jumped all the way up to the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference with a record of 47-33. So going from 500 to 47-33, I would call that a turnaround, and they've been playing some really great basketball, and I think it's a lot of factors that go into that. And I think one of the more important factors is the way that the Toronto Raptors can lock in on the defensive side of the ball. They rank 8th in the league when it comes to defensive rating, and it just makes a lot of sense when you look at their roster, because they have a lot of guys that can play great individual defense, and then those guys can lock in together and play great team defense, which is really scary. And when we look at this defense, I think the tone setter is Fred VanVleet, because he's the guy that's guarding the point guard, or he's guarding the opposing ball handler, and he's so disruptive, and he plays such annoying defense that it just makes it harder for the opposing offense to flow. So when he's pressuring the ball like that, getting physical, it just opens up a lot of opportunities for the Toronto Raptors to get steals and deflections, and they actually rank top 10 in both those categories. And Fred VanVleet himself, he ranks top 10 individually in both those categories. So I think Fred VanVleet, I think he's the tone setter for this defense, and his ability to get steals and deflections really is a really momentum shifter for the Toronto Raptors. And then you look at the other versatile defenders on this team: Scottie Barnes, who can guard 1 through 5. Pascal Siakam is a pretty solid defender in this league. OG Anunoby. And I would say this about the Toronto Raptors defense, that it's one of the most annoying defenses in the league, and it's also one of the most versatile defenses in the league, because I've seen times this season where Nick Nurse will throw in a lineup where every player on the court is 6'9" or taller, and it's really crazy because those guys might not be able to stop a Joel Embiid or a Nikola Jokic individually, but when you got 5 guys out there that's mobile and versatile when it comes to defense, they can close out on shots, they can move their feet on the perimeter, and then the scariest thing is that they can switch everything, and it really won't be that big of a difference, because everybody has length and everybody has height and everybody can move their feet. That can cause a lot of problems for the opposing team, especially if they have a smaller guard out there. So the Toronto Raptors, their defense, I feel like is one of the biggest reasons why they've been so successful this season, and I think it's going to help them. I think it's going to help them a lot by the time the postseason starts. So that's one of the reasons why I think the Toronto Raptors, they continue to prove everybody wrong. And then also, they're getting great play from their they have 3 players with championship experience, but the 2 leaders of this team, Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam, they both are having all-star caliber seasons. And actually, Fred VanVleet made his first All-Star game this season, which was well-deserving because he's playing some really great basketball. But Fred VanVleet, he's one of the leaders on this team. He has the championship experience. He knows what it takes to win a ring, and he's just been playing great all season. What I like about Fred VanVleet is that he plays with a chip on his shoulder, because he's a smaller player in this league, and we all know how that comes when smaller players, they're always doubted when it comes to the NBA. So Fred VanVleet, on the offensive side of the ball, one of the best 3-point shooters in all of the NBA. He lights it up from out there, and then also he's improved his game in so many facets. He can now facilitate for the offense. He can get to the rim off dribble penetration, finish with both hands. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we just talked about him, and we know what he brings to the table on the defensive side of the ball. He's a pit bull, and he really reminds me a lot of Kyle Lowry. Both of their playing styles are very similar. They're the floor general on the team. They can shoot the 3 ball, they can get to the rim, and then they get after you on the defensive side of the ball. So really liking what I'm seeing from Fred VanVleet this season. And then also Pascal Siakam, he's starting to play like a #1 option. It looks like he's starting to settle into that role over the last month or two. Pascal Siakam has been lighting up the scoreboard, and he's been playing some really great basketball. And what I like about Pascal, he plays on both sides of the ball as well, and then he also rebounds. So Pascal Siakam, he's been playing really solid for the Toronto Raptors. I love his game, his ability to get to the rim at reckless abandon. Even though he plays at the 4, at the 5, and he's kind of small for those two positions, he don't let that stop him from getting and finishing at the rim. And he's his self shot creation has gotten a lot better since he's gotten into the NBA. And then the best part about the Toronto Raptors, and this don't really get talked about enough when I hear teams talking about the Raptors, is that they have a lot of depth. Like, they have a lot of decent role players, and one of their best role players this season has been Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. has been amazing for the Raptors. His ability to shoot the 3 ball, he can go for 30 points on any given night. And then he's not too bad on the defensive side of the ball as well, because he has a nice build, he has some length to him, and he has the intent to guard you every play. So he's another guy on this team that can lock in on the defensive side of the ball. And then he's a sniper. And then also, since he's come into the NBA, his self-shot creation has gotten a lot better. He can take the ball, get a screen, and go out there and get a bucket for the Raptors. Or he can run around without the ball, run off pin downs, run off flare screens, catch it for a catch and shoot 3. He's a very versatile offensive player, and he's been great for the Raptors all season long. And then they have the rookie, Scottie Barnes, who's a star in the making. He literally does it all out there. He scored a basketball, he gets assists, he gets rebounds, he plays defense, man. The way he plays defense, it seems like he enjoys it. He will guard anybody, and he's a rookie, but you can't tell that he's a rookie because he's not scared of anyone, or he's not afraid of any moment. But the Toronto Raptors, they do a great job of developing players. We've seen what they've done with Pascal Siakam. We've seen what they've done with OG Anunoby, so I'm very excited what they can do with not only those two guys, but Fred VanVleet. He's developed well under the Toronto Raptors, so I'm really excited what they can do with a guy like Scottie Barnes, because he has all the raw talent, he has the athleticism, he has the size, he has the length. And I feel like the Toronto Raptors, I feel like they do a great job at developing their young players. But Scottie Barnes, he's been a big reason why the Toronto Raptors have been able to win ball games this season. And then there's still a bunch of other guys, man. OG Anunoby, he's been looking good this season whenever he's out there on the court. And he's a really special player, still young. And also, I forgot to bring this up, but the Toronto Raptors, their starting 5 of Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam, all 5 of those guys average 15 plus points. And that's really amazing. That's what I say about their depth. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that where all 5 starters are averaging 15 plus points. So all 5 of those guys can go off for 25 plus points any given night. This is really special to see. So the Toronto Raptors, to me, they've really turned their season around, and they become one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And yes, I said best because whenever they play the top seeds in the East, they give them a lot of trouble, and they sometimes give them a run for their money. So this is going to be a dark horse playoff team, and they can go as far as that defense takes them. That's my favorite part about this team, is their defense. But that's going to be it on this video. I just wanted to touch on how well the Toronto Raptors have been playing. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below if you disagree or agree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.